After working 72 hours straight to save the restaurant, I found my business partner had locked me out. He said, "I found an investor. Sign it over or lose everything." The next morning, he was begging on his knees in the parking lot. There's a particular ache that comes from standing on your feet for 3 days straight. It starts in your heels, crawls up your calves, settles in your lower back like ground glass. That's what I felt when I finally turned off the industrial dishwasher at 3 a.m. Monday morning. I'd been at the restaurant since Friday. 72 hours of pure chaos after our entire kitchen staff quit, when Marcus, my business partner, screamed at our head chef for requesting time off for his daughter's surgery. I'd handled every station myself: prep, grill, plating, even dishwashing. Cooked for 400 covers over the weekend. My hands were burned in 12 places, bandaged in 6 more. My chef's whites looked like a Jackson Pollock painting of sauce stains and grease, but we'd survived. The restaurant was still standing. Our Yelp reviews from the weekend were actually stellar. People loved the simplified menu I'd improvised. 3 suppliers had called to compliment the payments I'd rushed through. I'd saved us. When I tried my key in the back entrance, it didn't turn. The lock had been changed. Marcus opened the door before I could knock, wearing a suit I'd never seen before, cologne so strong it made my eyes water. Behind him stood a man in an expensive coat, holding a briefcase. "Tommy," Marcus said, not even looking at my bandaged hands. "Perfect timing. The key doesn't work." "Right. About that. This is Mr. Fitzgerald. He's interested in investing, but he wants majority control. I need you to sign over your half. He's offering $8,000. That's generous considering." "Considering what?" "Considering you're about to be nothing without this deal. The restaurant needs professional management, not some line cook playing owner. Sign now, or I'll report the health code violations from this weekend and shut us down. You'll get nothing." I stood there in the alley, trash bags piled beside me, dawn starting to break over the city. Fitzgerald wouldn't meet my eyes. Marcus was already pulling out the contracts. "Okay," I said, "I understand." I turned around and walked to my beat-up Honda, drove home, and collapsed fully clothed on my bed. Slept for 14 hours straight. What Marcus didn't know, what he never bothered to learn in 5 years of partnership, was that I'd been documenting everything. Every racist comment he'd made about our El Salvadorian kitchen staff. Every time he'd skimmed from the till. Every health code violation he'd created and blamed on others. Every fake review he'd paid for. Every supplier he'd threatened. But more importantly, he didn't know about the clause in our partnership agreement, the one my lawyer's sister had insisted on when we'd started. If either partner attempted to force a sale under duress or through coercion, they'd automatically forfeit their stake to the other partner. He also didn't know I'd installed security cameras with audio 3 months ago after money started going missing. Cameras that clearly recorded him threatening me, attempting to force a sale for below market value. And he definitely didn't know that Mr. Fitzgerald was actually my sister's colleague from her law firm, playing a role we'd rehearsed when Marcus first started talking about finding investors 6 weeks ago. Tuesday morning, I drove back to the restaurant at 9 a.m. Marcus was sitting on the curb outside, head in his hands, still in yesterday's suit but wrinkled now, stained with what looked like tears and snot. His Mercedes was being loaded onto a tow truck. He looked up when my shadow fell over him. His eyes were bloodshot, frantic. "Tommy, please, I didn't know. The lawyer says I forfeited everything. The restaurant, my investment, everything. Please, we can work this out." I handed him an envelope. Inside was a single check for $8,000. "That's generous," I said, considering. Behind him, our head chef was unlocking the front door with his new set of keys. The entire old crew was filing in for their shifts, chattering excitedly about the changes I'd promised. Marcus's nameplate was already in the dumpster. He called me 43 times that week, left voicemails that went from threats to sobbing to threats again, posted on LinkedIn about backstabbing partners, got roasted in the comments when someone leaked the security footage of him screaming at our chef about his sick daughter. The restaurant's doing better than ever. We're booked solid for the next 3 months. The crew's happy. Marcus is apparently working at a chain steakhouse in the suburbs, according to his Instagram. I kept his nameplate from the dumpster. Sometimes I look at it and smile.